Okay, so one of the things I want to get right into with this video and not waste any time is essentially there's a problem with the phone system. Now, as you know, back in the day, Social Security Administration hired on a phone company. I don't want to say their name, and that phone company did not deliver what they said they were going to deliver with the capacity of the phone system and all the features. So then they moved from that company to a different company. Now, the problem was right as this move was happening, Trump got in and he started to significantly reduce the Social Security Administration. You know, he had like 7,000 people retired, fired, things like that. As a result, then things were getting really bad with the wait times again. Now, this is not a good look for the Social Security Administration because directly before the current commissioner, Commissioner Bisignano, and then of course there was commissioner before that, another one before that, another one before that. But then we go back to the commissioner that was in for a while, which was Commissioner Martin O'Malley. When Commissioner Martin O'Malley got in, who wanted to use Social Security as his leap board to become the next presidential candidate, to basically, get in there post Biden, what happened was he said, look, we have some things that we really want to work on. This Social Security works agenda is that we want to go ahead and show you where all the problem areas are. We want to give you the analytics so you can see how we're doing, so you understand what we're working on. And one of those big things was the 800 number and the wait times. And that's because not only had Commissioner Kijakazi been dragged into Congress, so did Commissioner Martin O'Malley when it comes to how long people have to wait to get access to ... their benefits. Now, a lot of you guys are probably sitting there thinking, hey, wait a minute. Why do I have to wait at all? Why don't they have a lot of staff working at the Social Security Administration, seeing how I spent my entire life paying for these benefits? And you would be correct. As far as customer service goes, it would not be acceptable to have to wait 30 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get access to somebody about when you're going to get your payments or how they're going to modify your payments to help you out. So I get it. I get where you're coming from, but I want to go through this, which is basically a Newsweek article that was just published basically a couple of days ago. And then I want to go through the specific actual mathematical Excel sheet output that goes through the numbers as to what the wait times actually are. And it's important because there's a little thing missing from that form that the government is no longer producing and giving to you, the American people. Let's get through it real quick. Social Security warning issued as agency moves 1,000 staffers. Okay, so here we go. This is from Newsweek. The Social Security Administration reassigned approximately 1,000 customer service representatives from field offices to bolster its national hotline, aiming to reduce wait times for millions of callers. Jessica Lapointe, president of Council 220 of the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, said the SSA's relocation is a temporary solution. Okay, the 1-800 number, they do offer a critical role at the agency, but it's a triage, whereas customer service representatives actually clear work for the agency. So put another way, the 800 number people, they're not there to work on claims, to fix bigger stuff. They're there just to receive calls and then communicate to somebody else who can actually fix something related to the claim. So it's just going to, quote, going to create a vicious cycle of work not getting cleared, people calling for status on work that's sitting because the claims specialists now are going to have to pick up the slack of the customer service representatives that are redeployed to the teleservice centers. And they're not wrong. What they're saying is the big problem with this situation is when they go ahead and take customer service representatives that are able to work on the files and move them to the 800 telephone numbers, when that happens, they no longer have enough people to actually process and fix the claims. They've got a bunch of people on the 800 number, which means, just to put it I'm not going to try and beat up on Trump here, but just to put it very simply, or I guess this would be beating up more on Elon. To put it simply here, they fired or retired too many people on the front lines. And I know that they moved a bunch of people from other offices to the front lines, but they didn't have enough. That was the main issue here. Susan Smith, thank you for the $2 donation. That's absolutely amazing. I super appreciate it. Nellie with the $20 donation. That's a big donation. Thank you. She said, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for all the information. God bless. I really appreciate that. And God bless you as you have a wonderful and blessed day as well. A wonderful week. I mean, it's Monday going to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but this is hopefully going to be a good, but very, very, in Florida, hot week. And apparently we have some storm coming. I don't even know what's going on with that, but hopefully things will get a little bit better. Hopefully things will calm and cool down. So with this particular situation, we have, and here's the next quote, Lapointe told Newsweek that the agency is facing a critical staffing shortage while serving an all-time high number of beneficiaries. Field offices cannot afford to lose any workers while still processing public claims and Social Security needs. LaPointe said, could be LaPointe, could be LaPointe, I'm not sure. The public must demand accountability and transparency in how their earned Social Security benefits and services are delivered. And they're not wrong. I think the American people have been a little bit relaxed, a little bit remiss when it comes to demanding things of how they go ahead and fix, work on, etc., Social Security benefits. To be fair, to be honest, they know that a lot of Social Security recipients are not going to complain or really push the Social Security Administration because they're worried about losing their benefits. So they know they'll reach out to the senators, and the senators can't really do much or change much, blah, 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 blah. And we're in this repetitive cycle of things not getting done. So that's kind of the problem here. Now, the SSA said an average of 69 million people receive a Social Security benefit each month in 2025, totaling about 1.6 trillion in benefits paid during the year. The restructuring comes after thousands of workers left the agency under Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, cost-saving initiatives. They fired, retired too many people. Calls to the SSA topped 8.6 million per month on average between January and June, compared to a monthly average of about 6.6 million from January to June 2024, according to statistics obtained by the outlet. Wait times for callers averaged 93 minutes. So hour and a half for the first 5 months of the Trump administration, compared to an average of 75 minutes for the last 3 months of the Biden administration. Remember, that was when, now that, to be fair, they should have done more than the last 3 months because that's an unfair comparative there. They're giving a little bit too much comparative analysis to the Biden team, not the Trump. But what we did like about the Biden team, and I think Biden's greatest legacy, honestly, was that he put Martin O'Malley in the SSA, and Martin O'Malley pushed and fixed a lot of stuff. But anyways, the major legacy of what Biden did was he gave Martin O'Malley the chance to prove that he could fix a program. Now, did Commissioner Martin O'Malley ultimately fix the Social Security Administration? No. If he stayed in it for 6 years, could he have fixed it? Probably. Did he stick around to go ahead and fix it? No. He jumped ship and basically tried to apply and become the chair for the Democratic Party, the DNC. As a result of that, it's kind of sad because we lost somebody that was doing a good job. Now, we have an ultra super CEO, Frank Bisignano, who's going to hyper automate the system. We do need some of that as well. So we're going to be seeing how this whole thing rolls out. But the bottom line is phone calls to the SSA have been crapola since COVID, even before COVID and after. And we shouldn't have to wait an hour. We shouldn't have to wait half an hour. We shouldn't have to wait an hour and a half. We shouldn't have to wait 15 minutes to get somebody on the phone to answer us about our Social Security questions. We just shouldn't. It's not fair. It's just not fair. Sharon Quellen, thank you for the $1.99 donation. Let me put a little heart on that. That's awesome. Very, very cool. That's amazing. Excellent, excellent. So here's basically the deal here. The transition. So my top priority is to transform. Let me give you this real quick. This is specifically from the SSA on significant progress. Although, I did like the significant progress when we got those live updates and we could see exactly what's going on. We don't have those anymore. Quote, my top priority is to transform the SSA into a model of excellence, an organization that operates at peak efficiency and delivers outstanding service to every American, SSA Commissioner Frank Bisignano said in a statement. The transition will increase the number of phone agents by about 25%. AFGE told the Washington Post that it has heard from workers at several offices that no longer have customer service representatives available following the reassignment. SSA spokesperson Stephen McGraw told the outlet the reassignment impacts 4% of field staff and is not clear how long it will last. Kathleen Rahming, a former Social Security official who now works at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, estimated that there are 1,480 beneficiaries for each staff member. In 1967, the last time the agency had this few employees, there was 480 beneficiaries for each staff member. God, let's think about that for a moment. 1967. Hold on. How many years has it been since 1967? All right, let's take a look. It has been, is that right? Yeah, 57 years. That doesn't seem right. 40, is that? Well, maybe. I don't know. That's what Google came up with. Anyways, they said it's been, the year 1967 was 57 years, 6 months, and 14 days ago. So we are now at an employment low problem of 57 years, 6 months, and 14 days. So we are now approaching the 60-year low of employment potential, which, to be fair, is it's pretty damn spicy. It's pretty spicy. I don't know how to get you guys to understand how bad that is, but it's bad. It's very bad. With that said, the SSA previously reassigned more than 2,000 workers to public-facing roles in April. Earlier this year, CBPP researchers estimated nearly 2 million additional in-person visits are now required annually due to staffing cuts and revised SSA protocol. So bottom line is this: LaPointe said the solution is clear: hire more staff and treat SSA workers with the respect they deserve. Instead, the agency is forcing more workers to leave through arbitrary reassignments while simultaneously eliminating flexible schedules for teleservice centers. This will result in fewer agents available, increased leave usage and attrition, and deteriorating morale and customer service. Now, here's the problem: they tell everybody they need to, give SSA staff more respect, but the reality is they need to give them more money to attract more high quality individuals to do this job. And the bottom line is they can't do that because they're stuck to a payment schedule that they're not really supposed to modify much. So that's the issue. Now, with that said, I want to go directly to this. This is an outline, goes all the way back to 2007 October, as to the average speed to answer the phones in seconds. So let me give you some of the math so you understand how this actual government report works. Real quick, Ronnie Zuniga, thank you for the $9.99 donation. That's absolutely amazing. I'm putting a little heart on it. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you. So this document right here measures how much time in seconds it will take for basically the SSA person to answer the phone. Now, remember, this number is not really very accurate because as they hyper automate the internal system, the auto attendant that says, would you like to press 2 for this? Would you like to press 3 for this? It will take longer for you to get to the place that you want to go, unless they had lots and lots of staff who could answer it really quickly. But since they don't have lots of staff who can answer it quickly, they're trying to push you this way, push you that way, and you have to go through this whole auto attendant thing first. But back in 2007, yeah, they had an auto attendant, but it wasn't as complex as the one we just got now in 2025. They did a whole article on it. But just to give you an understanding, and remember, these statistics don't include, they can be a little funky, you know what I mean? A little funky because at the end of the day, sometimes, somebody will pick up real quick and then hang up the phone. Sometimes they'll go ahead and answer it farther down, but let's just take a look. So the first one is, just so you know, 2007 October. It was 200. So, okay, how many? Let's see. How many is, 263 seconds in minutes. Okay. So basically, that is in 4.38 minutes, right? In 2007 of October, that's how long it would take them to go ahead and answer the phone. Now, there was in 2007 May an ultra low of 68. So how many is 68 seconds in minutes? It only took them in 2007 May, which I think was the lowest. I'm pretty sure that's the lowest. Yeah. Oh, no, maybe not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Hold on. 2011 May. Hold on. 2011 May. So remember, at 68 seconds, it was only 1.1 minutes to answer the phone. But in 2011 May, it took a total of 0.93 minutes. So basically 56 seconds for the SSA to answer their phone. Now, those are super low, and most of them are higher than that. But if we compare that to the current amount, let's take a look real quick. Let's get all the way up to 2025. The last one we have, let's do January through basically the current. Okay, so let's take a look at that. January through the current. Okay, so but look at this. Actually, this is interesting. So if we look at essentially, hold on, what do we got here? We got here October, November, December, January, February, March. Okay, so if we look at this, I mean, during the Biden era, there was a swing. Usually it was like 1,500 to like 2,500 of wait time. So not very good. The numbers got better. Although there was a problem. It looks like, that's when we lost Commissioner Martin O'Malley. Let me see what it was for September. Yeah, September was an all-time low. It was ultra low. So in September of 2024, when we were getting to the end of the Martin O'Malley times, you had to wait 691 seconds. which meant 11.5 minutes, which was the best that they had in the modern era. Now, the average was more likely around 2000 during the Biden era. So realistically, during the Biden era, you had to wait 33.33 minutes, although it usually took longer, to be fair. I don't know how perfect this is. This is just what the government produced. And, you know. Anyways, the point is, let's take a look now. Oh, now they're claiming in May of 2025, it was actually lower. No, slightly higher than the best during Biden's. Let's take a look real quick. At least during the end of Biden's. In May of 2025, they're saying it was only 695 minutes to get a hold of the SSA, which is 11.58 minutes. That has to be complete and total BS. I cannot honestly. I don't know how anybody could say that they waited on the phone for the SSA to answer only essentially 11, 12 minutes in May of 2025. There's no way. There is just no way that's possible. I no, that's no. Marty the Alien, very cool. Love that name. Love the show. $2 donation. Thank you. Love the little lemon with the hearts. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Realistically, we're seeing basically that, let's see what we got. 2025, let's see, January, 1,780 seconds. So let's plug that into the machine and see what that comes out to real quick. That looks like 29 minutes. It tends to stay around there, somewhere like 20 to 29 minutes, 20 to 29, 30-ish minutes. I got to be honest with you. I do not see people calling in and getting the phone that quickly. Most of the people I talk to, it's 30 minutes to an hour. That's kind of the norm and things like that. Now, I want to share with you a big problem, a big issue that relates to essentially this situation. Now, remember when we had Martin O'Malley and he was publishing all that live data with charts and this and that to show where the call lists were actually coming from? We were like, wow, we didn't know the SSA had all this data. This is amazing. This is so cool. Wow, super awesome. Well, now, instead of having awesome live quick data, we have an Excel sheet of how many seconds it takes for them to pick up the phone. But you will notice that the months here for July, August, September are no longer being produced. And you will notice that because, okay, for sure, we're in July, right? And they're still figuring that out. But you will notice, right, that the bottom line is for July, we don't have day-to-day, week-to-week updates because we're in the middle of July now. So we should have more data than we currently have under the Trump administration. Now, before this, they weren't publishing all this data. They did an article and they started to publish this extra data here. But the bottom line is they're saying they're saying June, it was only 695 seconds. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that doesn't really make sense because the problem is now that you have to have all of these meetings to like go into the SSA and go ahead and basically, set an appointment online to get an appointment. Now you have all those people that would have gone to the local field office now having to basically call in and do things online or call in over the phone and try and set stuff up. To me, I just don't know how accurate this is because to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that they would fire and retire that many people. It doesn't make sense that they'd have to move that many people to the front lines and still not have enough people to have this much of increases in positivity. I don't know. All I can say is this. I don't think under the current model that we are going to be seeing Social Security 800 number wait times decreasing. It shows that on this. Look, January, it was 1,780 seconds. February, 1,565 seconds. March, 1,179 seconds. April, 1,002. May, 695. It shows that on this, but I'm going to be honest. The problem that we're seeing is that there's not enough DDS reps. There's not enough front office, 800 number callers. There's not enough field office reps to go ahead and process claims. There's not enough administrative law judges with clerks to go ahead and answer things at the OHO, hearing office. And then, appeals counsel, they rarely reach out. You know what I mean? Like when they reach out, it's like they need something to figure something out to finish something. But it's just one of those situations. Now, with that said, after this video, I'm going to go live and answer questions for free. Again, I'm going to answer questions for free, do mini 5-minute consultations, which is absolutely, absolutely amazing. Brett Monday said, Walter, please say something nice about Biden. Biden gave us Martin O'Malley, which is probably one of the best commissioners we've ever had in the modern era. I can think of more historically better commissioners, but I think out of all of them, including even the team that was part of Biden's, Commissioner Kijikazi and stuff like that, or the commissioner that we've had for, over and over and over, you'll see she just keeps being like brought in. The bottom line is that I think Martin O'Malley was active, face forward, producing videos, explaining to us issues. It was a good thing. It was a really, really good thing, and I liked it. So it was just moving everything in the right direction, addressing people's issues. So I think from a Democrat standpoint, now I will say this, I think Martin O'Malley has been heavily influenced by the machine that is the Democrat Party. And I think a lot of his beliefs were not linear with the modern style Democrat that we have now. And I'm going to be honest with you, the modern style Democrat is not kind of what we had from the Clinton era, or obviously, if we go back to JFK, it's just a very modern, it's just that they're going to have a tough time getting votes. And they're not, in my opinion, representing people in the way that they should be represented. And a lot of it's turning to this aggression and hostility. And I feel like that's the cheating way to try and get some people to join onto your cause. Because let me give you a little background, one idea, and then we're going to go to the next video. And this is my thing with this, okay? If you want people to like something or somebody or some group, then that thing or that somebody or that some group has to go out into the community and do good deeds for people, right? So if you have somebody where you're like, I don't think this person is liked in the community, right? Then you should have that group, financially, structurally, capability wise, go out into the communities that are there and help them and cause that positive vibes. And I remember this, and this was a huge thing for me, like a mega effect on me when this happened to me. I remember I was a Starbucks barista way back in the day, and they sent me to this training thing where we had to fill out this passport of coffees that we've tested. And I hate coffee, and they made me drink a lot of coffee. And I know you guys probably love Starbucks, but please never send me Starbucks. I'll think you're trying to poison me. But the point is this, okay? I had to go fill out this thing. And in there was a trans person, okay? And this trans person, was the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most helpful person out of the entire group. And I remember growing up in a farm area where like you just didn't see that type of person. And like that person always had a negative connotation because that's what the popular thing was in music and Hollywood and everything. And so to me, that had a big effect because it taught me the reality that when you have somebody from a group that wants to be, basically, thought of better in the community, helped out better in the community, they have to go out and be a part of the community and helping people so that people like them. And that's the reality. If you donate your time to help people, people will then want to like you and help you, yada, yada. Now, is it safe for those individuals to do that? No, not really. But, there's steps that can be taken. That method is far greater than the we're going to scream in your face and try and block your cars method, which is what they've gotten to at this point. I mean, they have entire militias now in some of these states. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I mean, they're shocking. So Harry Bear, thank you for the $4.99 donation. I super appreciate that. I said a small token of appreciation. Thanks for the continued good info. I super appreciate it. I'll continue to deliver what I can get and what I can find. The big line for me, just so you guys know, is that there's a line where I'm allowed to like give you guys this information, but a lot of it for us attorneys, it's sealed and I can't give it to you. So I try to like gather sources that have released information that's outside of the PACER system that we use to log in and get case details. But boy, it's tough. They hide a lot of stuff from Americans, and I don't think it's a good thing. I think Americans need to see the war zones, the legal cases, the decisions, the complaints. I think they need to see what these people did that was so shocking, because I think Americans at this point have been so coddled by the reality. Like, we don't see the wars overseas that were fought by us. We don't see the near deaths and the deaths that occurred as a result of things. So I just think Americans need to have more of that, because they'll appreciate it and they'll also get to a better spot in their head with how things actually work in the international community. Also, please remember, I don't do Medicare questions. It's just not my thing. I don't like to go into detail about Medicare because I didn't, I'm not somebody who studies Medicare. I study disability law and Social Security stuff in general, but I just don't do Medicare. I partnered with this group, which is Chapter right here, aschapter.org/disability. You can give them a call. They'll go ahead and basically give you a tune-up on your benefits. Check them out. Here's the phone number right there. give them a call. And remember, it's a free call. They can tell you if you've got, a really good program or plan. They're probably going to be able to go ahead and do some things where they might be able to save you money. I think the average caller saved around $1,100 by switching to some program that they set up. All right, I will catch you guys at the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, head over to Google, type in Disability Resolution Law Firm, the law firm company that I work under. Throw some stars up there if you want. We're going to go live. I'll answer questions for free, but if you need a full hour to yourself, private mini contract is below, and I'll catch you at the next one in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.